You know, there was a time when I was a big Nintendo fanatic. Whenever a third-party game was announced, I've always picked the Nintendo edition. And then the Nintendo Switch arrived, the best home console ever released in history. When I found out it could run AAA games, I was convinced this was going to be the ultimate video game console. That is, until Nintendo themselves decided to screw it all up with a paid membership. And so I switched to PC. I'm not paying $30 a year just so I can play Donkey Kong Country. That's why I'm really grateful that emulators exists on PC, so I can revisit my childhood memories and try retro games I missed out. However, if I want to play current modern games, I have to buy them on Steam. Steam is the most neutral video game platform in the world, because most of the games that used to be exclusive on Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox, they eventually end up available on Steam. Not every gamer is the same, though. There are people who prefer playing on home console and people who prefer playing on PC. Both platforms have pros and cons and ups and downs. But in the end, it's all about personal preference. This month I will focus on various games I have in my Steam library, but not on games that used to be exclusive like God of War. Don't get me wrong, I'm really glad I can finally play this on PC so I don't have to buy a pricey console. But I feel like God of War belongs in a list of best PlayStation games. It's really great though, so I'm gonna recommend it anyways. So without further ado, let's embark on a journey to the world of Steam games. I'm the Big Bro, and these are my top 5 favorite games on Steam. Whoa! What the hell is that?
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. I didn't do fucking shit.
3, 2, 1.
Paladins.
And so it begins.
I didn't have many games when I first got my PC, so I just downloaded some free games to entertain myself after work. There was Genshin Impact, Multiversus, and yes, even Fortnite, but that's another story. Anyway, Paladins was one of the first free-to-play games I've played. It's a first-person shooter game with colorful characters of the fantasy genre. You play as one of the champions in a team of 5 players against another team of 5 players. It has a resemblance to Overwatch, but it actually has some features that make it unique. The multiplayer modes are Siege, Onslaught, Payload, Team Deathmatch, and Ranked Battles. Siege and Payload are pretty much the same. I don't know why Team Deathmatch is only available against bots. Speaking of bots, you can practice all of these modes with players controlled by the computer. You can also learn the basic controls in a tutorial and experiment with all of the champions in shooting range.
First blood.
There's no story mode though. They just give you a BIOS for every character. That's a big shame. You could watch the cinematic trailers on their YouTube channel, but those are very short and not impactating like the ones in Team Fortress. Now, since this is a free-to-play game, there's gotta be loot boxes. Loot boxes are obviously a bad thing for video games, and in Paladins is no exception. But at least it only affects the cosmetics and not the gameplay. You don't really need loot boxes to win. They are just small self-rewards to change the aspect of the game. If you want to unlock a character or a skin, you need to keep winning or log in frequently, as if it was a mobile game. If I have to say something positive, is that the average gameplay is actually satisfying. The animations are fluid, there's rarely any glitch, most of the team members are doing their part, and the characters are pretty diverse. There's Victor, the average soldier in every shooting game. Evie is a mix of Elsa and Harley Quinn, Grover is Groot with more vocabulary, Genos is Raiden with a gun, Pip is Ratchet without Clank, Rom is demonic heavy, Shaolin is Aladdin with a bow, and then there's Ruckus.
And Bolt.
I'm Rambo.
Overall, if you ignore the loot boxes, Paladins is pretty decent for a free-to-play game. It's got potential, but it needs a bit more improvement.
Victory.
Hour then.
Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. I was so scared that this game wasn't going to be good with Kojima's absence. But after 768.6 hours of gameplay, I'm glad I was wrong. You play as a soldier named Snake, who is also known as Big Boss. In this game, you can freely roam in big open locations and complete several objectives so you can build your very own private army. Diamond Dogs. Depending on your performance, soldiers of different levels will volunteer to join you. But you can also recruit them yourself by attaching a balloon on an enemy soldier.
Кто-нибудь снимите меня!
Metal Gear has moved from its linear overhead view gameplay to a big sandbox-like world where you are given diverse missions to complete, sorta like GTA. There are infinite ways to complete a mission with what the game has to offer. For example, your mission is to neutralize a general soldier. You can sneak around the enemy base and perform a stealth kill on the target.
Target confirmed dead.
Or shoot him from far away with a sniper rifle.
Target confirmed dead.
Or with a rocket launcher.
Hey, that was...
Or you could make a call from your iDroid and give the order to drop rockets on the target.
That was...
Now I understand why GTA Online hackers love doing this. In another mission, you must destroy antennas without getting spotted.
That antenna is one of the targets. Good work.
But why would I do something boring if I can bring a tank?
Good. That's the first one.
You can also bring one of your support buddies on the field like D-Horse, D-Dog, D-Walker, and Quiet. Each one with unique abilities that can help you complete the mission. You can do other cool stuff in the game, like sending your soldiers on missions to collect materials, infiltrating another player's mother base, and develop unusual but cool weapons and items. Despite all the great content this game has, there's some things missing here. There are only 3 themed locations where you can roam freely: the desert, the jungle, and the player's mother base. There's no more variety on themed locations like snowy places where I can wear white camouflage. And the online multiplayer? Ugh, I don't even want to talk about it. Overall, this game is pretty decent, but it could have gone better if it was given more time. But despite being an incomplete game, it still has its community that remains loyal and comes back to play.
What people think GTA looked like 10 years ago. What GTA actually looked like 10 years ago.
What's up? Can a low come up in your crib?
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, nigga, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, nigga.
Oh boy. I think this is the first time I'm doing a long commentary about a big AAA game. Okay, here we go. The base gameplay is the same as the rest in the GTA series. An open-world action game where you play as a criminal in a big city. Then, as the name implies, you move around with cars you stole and run away from the cops. You complete a mission and get rewarded with money to buy new clothing, new cars, new weapons, new property, and other goods.
Mr. DeSanta, good to see you.
So how GTA 5 outstands in the series? Well, for starters, it's the first game in the series where you play as 3 different protagonists in the main story.
How the fuck we gonna get this done?
Franklin, a street forum gangster who thinks he is surrounded by hopeless individuals.
So you giving me a lecture about not being a good enough gangbanger? That's all we got, my nigga? That's our heritage.
Michael, a retired veteran bank robber with a dysfunctional family.
That is not work!
I don't see you complaining on the way to the fucking bank!
And then there's Trevor,
Sweet Jesus. Mine ain't nothing special, but this boy gets the job done. All right?
It's also the first time where the protagonists have special abilities. Franklin can slow down time while driving, Michael can slow down time while shooting, and Trevor turns invincible. GTA 5 includes a wide variety of side missions compared to its predecessors. Here they're called Strangers and Freaks.
You're not exactly dressed for cardio.
It's running. How much gear do you need?
While some missions are fun and memorable, and others very controversial, the majority are a complete pain in the neck due being very long, boring, and exhausting. For example, the very first side mission, which is obligatory by the way, is driving a tow truck, picking up an abandoned car, and leave it at the lot.
Go out and get the biggest tree you can find if you get your arms around.
I'll see you on the block.
But oh well, let's hope the rest of the missions aren't that boring.
You can breathe, can't you?
Okay, some hobbies in the game can be enjoyable. But not this one!
You feel that?
Yeah, I'm about to feel some emotions, all right.
I want something that defines Grand Theft Auto as the good game it is.
And attach it.
Oh yeah, who can forget this in a game where you rob banks? But hey, at least I'm only doing this just once, right? Is this what you always wanted in a video game? Because sure I don't. See, this is what I hate about high graphic modern games. They are so focused on trying to look realistic that there is no room for anything creative or imaginative. And no, those custom tracks in GTA Online don't really count. Oh, speaking of GTA Online, don't even bother, it's full of hackers and bullies. Despite all this mess, GTA 5 is still a timeless classic after 10 years of being released.
It's been nearly 10 years.
There are some other cool features in the game that I didn't mention, because they are very difficult to explain in a short time. It might be best if you go see for yourself. Sometimes I like to revisit the game just to drive around San Andreas and chill with the radio on. Nowadays, most people are playing it with crazy mods to make it more fun and interesting. Personally, I'm not really into mods, because I don't like messing with hardwares and programs I don't understand. I love the game just the way it is.
Cutscenes in indie games. Cutscenes in AAA games.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the f***?
Death Stranding. I hate the fact that there are still people who think this is just a walking simulator. Clearly they haven't seen this game's full potential like I did. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where the rain ages everything it touches. And if someone dies, they turn into a ghost monster known as BT. And if a BT touches a living being, it will cause a big explosion. Since it's unsafe for civilians to come out, the government sends porters to deliver goods and provisions to people's shelters. Sam Porter, the protagonist, is one of them. You can carry various tools to help you get across the rough path towards your destination. You can even build big constructs like a post box, a giant bridge, a generator, a watchtower, a safe house, etc. But my personal favorite, a zip line to cross big gaps and climb hills much faster. Aside from the BTs, there are also hostile enemies known as mules. They steal cargo from other porters. You decide if you want to sneak your way into their camp to recover the cargo, or just go for it, knock them all out. New players might get irritated for all the grinding in the game, especially during the cutscenes. The introduction alone has a length of 2 hours. That's almost the same length as the first Jurassic Park movie with end credits included. But if you skip the cutscenes in the intro, it only takes 30 minutes. Kojima's games are known for having short gameplay and long story exposition. So I won't blame you if you get bored or irritated the first time you're playing Death Stranding. What I really love about Death Stranding is the fact that you can indirectly interact with other players and decide how to manage the stuff they leave behind. For example, if I found a player's tool, I can choose if I want to use it for my own game, or return it to get a like. If I want to travel real quick, I can borrow a player's vehicle or leave one of my own so they can use it. If I want to rest, I can borrow their safe house. You get the whole idea, right?
Your work is greatly
Hideo Kojima connected an entire community of fans during hard times. And ironically, that's what the whole game is about. Look, a player donated a floating carrier in my postbox. And it's from Winnie the Pooh! Thanks, Pooh. I promise I'll make good use of it. Whoops. Seriously? So yeah, Death Stranding is a fantastic game if you give it a chance. But I understand if not everyone can enjoy it. However, the next game is well beloved for teaching everyone to be more considerate of their actions. But before that, let's see the honorable mentions.
Someone's happy.
Black Sad, Under the Skin. A role interactive detective game, but with furries. Chill Corner. My own private lofi room, with no internet required.
Why wasn't this nominated to GOTY? It's the best idea ever!
Detroit, Become Human. Depending how you look at the world we're living right now, either this game aged like milk on sale, or like fine wine. Elden Ring. This is my first time playing it, and it already taught me one important thing. Some players like to be a masochist. Final Fantasy VII Remake. It really beats the old-fashioned turn-based battle system from the original. Gary's Mod. Also known as the king of sandbox games. Hi-Fi Rush. It's almost a year old, but it feels like a Wii game based on a Saturday morning cartoon. Mafia, Definitive Edition. Unlike GTA, you can get busted for reckless driving. Melatonin. It's literally an indie version of Rhythm Heaven, and I love it. Nier Automata. It reminds me of Bayonetta, but instead of a waifu witch fighting angels, it's a waifu android fighting robots. Rivals of Ether. I don't think many people would have remembered this game if it wasn't for the workshop compatibility. Rice, Son of Rome. Basically, what would God of War look like if Kratos was still a Spartan general? Sonic Frontiers. I've seen plenty of open-world Sonic fan projects. And finally, Sega decided to make it official. Soul Calibur 6. Probably the best version of the series. But everyone, myself included, spent more time on the character creation than the game itself. Yakuza 0. The only game I can think of where the side quest and hobbies are more fun and interesting than the main story. Tekken 7. It's nice that we are getting Tekken 8, but I'm keeping this one just because Negan is in it.
Oh my goodness! You win.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Usually I have low expectations before buying a AAA game so I don't feel disappointed. But damn, this game broke my expectations in so many levels. This is an Old West-themed open-world game. It was developed by Rockstar, so the controls are almost the same as GTA 5. But in this game, you can use a special ability called Deadeye, which it can slow down time and shoot several targets simultaneously. Almost like Michael's ability, but even better. You play as Arthur Morgan, a member of the Vanderlyn gang, who are in the run from government agents, bounty hunters, and rival gangs.
Now, reasoning ain't never been one of my strong points neither, but seeing I do just fine.
The leader, Dutch, tells all of the members to get money and donate their share to the camp so they can start a new life.
Now be sensible out there.
The money you earn on the missions can be spent on outfits and looks for Arthur, and upgrades and customization for your guns.
Well, if that gun ain't shining, glad you take care of what's yours.
Instead of driving cars, you're riding horses and wagons the entire game. You can visit a stable to buy a new horse, stable it or sell one your own horses, and buy provisions and equipment for your horse. You can interact with your horse and strengthen its bond with you by feeding it, cleaning it, and even petting it. That will improve its health and stamina.
Good girl.
The game also has some survival mechanics. The wildlife in Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably the best thing I've seen from an open-world video game. You can go hunting several types of animals in the wilderness and use their bodies to cook meat, craft tools, or fabricate equipment and clothing. Red Dead Redemption 2 is famous for its rich story, memorable characters, and detailed flora and fauna. But the one thing that sells it is the honor meter.
What the hell are you doing?
Depending on the kind of deeds you make, a meter will appear showing your honor level. This can change the environment in the game like you can't imagine, including the ending. Even the characters in the camp will judge you for your recent actions.
Apparently someone is running around the country here shooting nearly everyone they see.
Really?
Yes, really. I thought maybe it was Bill, but now I think maybe it's you.
Me?
We don't need unnecessary problems. We have enough real ones.
Can you imagine if other games had an honor meter system like Red Dead? But with all seriousness, the honor meter is no joke. It literally makes you being more considered with the choices you make in the game.
I just keep going on these killing sprees like I can't stop myself.
Yeah, that's bad, Arthur. That's real bad.
I know. Well.
These and many other great stuff you can find in this game. It will take ages to explain the rest. There are a few flaws here and there, but they are easily overlooked with everything else. Not many AAA games manage to become a legendary masterpiece. And I'm glad it's on Steam because it is more comfortable playing it on PC. This is why Red Dead Redemption 2 is my #1 favorite Steam game of all time.
Oh, bravo!
All right, I gotta leave, okay?
John, we just started. Come on, man.
Listen, there's a lot to see in this life. Not wasting it here.